Imagine feeling tired all the time, going to the bathroom more than usual, or struggling with blurry vision, and not realizing these could be early signs of diabetes. That's what makes diabetes so dangerous. It often starts quietly, with symptoms that are easy to ignore, until it becomes a serious health problem. In this video, we're going to explore the early signs and symptoms of diabetes, the differences between type 1 and type 2, how it shows up in men, women, children, and even during pregnancy, and when it's time to call your doctor. Welcome back to The Healing Path, your trusted source for health education. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for weekly health content designed to help you take control of your wellness naturally and wisely. Let's start with the basics. Diabetes is a chronic condition that occurs when your blood sugar, or blood glucose, is too high. Your body uses glucose as its main source of energy, and insulin, a hormone produced by the pancreas, helps move that glucose into your cells. But when your body doesn't make enough insulin, or doesn't use it effectively, sugar builds up in your blood instead of being used for energy. Over time, this leads to various symptoms and long-term health complications. There are two main types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease, meaning your body attacks its own insulin-producing cells. It usually starts in children and young adults but can develop at any age. Type 2 diabetes is far more common and is often linked to lifestyle factors like obesity, poor diet, and lack of physical activity. In this case, your body becomes resistant to insulin or doesn't produce enough over time. Now let's talk about the early warning signs, and these often show up in both types of diabetes. One of the most common signs is frequent urination. Most people urinate 4 to 7 times a day, but if you're dealing with undiagnosed diabetes, you might be going far more often, especially at night. That's because your kidneys are working overtime to get rid of the excess sugar in your bloodstream, pulling fluid from the tissues and creating more urine. This leads to another major sign, extreme thirst. As your body loses fluid through increased urination, it tries to replenish what's lost, so you may feel thirsty all the time, no matter how much water you drink. You might also experience constant hunger, especially for carbs or sugary foods. Why? Your body isn't processing glucose efficiently, so your cells are starving for energy, even though there's plenty of sugar in your bloodstream. That disconnect between glucose availability and cell absorption leads to more cravings. Then there's fatigue. This is not your typical tiredness after a long day. It's a deep, ongoing exhaustion that doesn't improve with rest. It's a result of your cells not getting the fuel they need, leaving you drained and sluggish throughout the day. Unintentional weight loss is another red flag, especially for type 1 diabetes. Since your body can't use glucose for energy, it starts breaking down fat and muscle instead. If you're eating normally but still losing weight, diabetes could be the reason. Other early symptoms include dry mouth, itchy or dry skin, and blurred vision. Blurred vision occurs because shifting fluid levels affect the lenses in your eyes, making it harder for them to focus. You might notice the world looks fuzzy, even if your eyesight was perfectly fine before. A lesser-known symptom? Headaches, often caused by blood sugar fluctuations, especially when it drops too low. Now, let's compare how these symptoms differ between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. With type 1 diabetes, symptoms appear suddenly, sometimes within a matter of days or weeks, and they tend to be more intense. That's why type 1 is often diagnosed in emergency settings, especially among children. Common early symptoms include peeing more often, extreme thirst, exhaustion, and rapid, unexplained weight loss. On the other hand, type 2 diabetes often develops slowly, and symptoms can be so mild that people don't even notice them for years. It's often discovered during routine checkups or when complications like blurry vision or slow-healing wounds start to appear. When it comes to men and women, symptoms may look the same on the surface, but there are some key differences. Women with diabetes are more likely to experience frequent vaginal yeast infections and urinary tract infections. Hormonal shifts and high blood sugar levels create an environment where infections thrive. Men may experience erectile dysfunction due to nerve and blood vessel damage, and in some cases, may lose muscle mass more rapidly if their diabetes is uncontrolled. In children, diabetes symptoms can be mistaken for regular growing pains or emotional changes. In type 1 diabetes, kids may suddenly start bedwetting after being potty trained, experience dramatic mood swings, show signs of exhaustion, or complain of being constantly thirsty and hungry. You may also see a child losing weight quickly, even though they seem to be eating more. In type 2 diabetes, which is becoming more common in children due to rising obesity rates, signs include fatigue, blurry vision, frequent infections, and dark patches of skin, especially around the neck or underarms. These dark patches, known as acanthosis nigricans, are early signs of insulin resistance. Now let's talk about gestational diabetes, a type of diabetes that occurs during pregnancy. It often has no noticeable symptoms, but some women may feel thirstier than usual, have to pee more frequently, or experience dry mouth and fatigue. Most doctors will screen for gestational diabetes between weeks 24 and 28, or earlier if you're at higher risk due to weight, family history, or previous pregnancies with gestational diabetes. If diabetes is not diagnosed or controlled early, it can lead to serious complications. You might start seeing slow healing wounds, particularly on your feet and legs. There might be numbness or tingling in your hands and feet, a sign of nerve damage, or diabetic neuropathy. Vision may worsen over time due to diabetic retinopathy, and the risk of heart disease and kidney damage increases significantly. So, when should you call your doctor? You should contact a healthcare provider if you feel excessively thirsty, find yourself peeing more than usual, feel nauseated, have blurry vision, or are losing weight without trying. More urgent symptoms include abdominal pain, sweet-smelling breath, a sign of high ketones, or deep and rapid breathing, which could be a sign of diabetic ketoacidosis, especially in type 1 diabetes. The good news? Diabetes is manageable, especially if caught early. Regular blood sugar checks, lifestyle changes like healthy eating and exercise, and in some cases medication, can help you live a full, healthy life. So, to recap, if you're experiencing fatigue, frequent urination, extreme thirst, blurry vision, or unexplained weight loss, don't ignore it. These could be your body's early warnings that something's not right. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe to the Healing Hub, and share it with someone you care about. Early knowledge is power, and in the case of diabetes, it could save a life. Stay informed, stay empowered, and as always, stay on the healing path.